Tonight, the end of an era as the stack comes crashing down. Stunning pictures shared around the world. And expanding mental health programs on the South Coast. Good evening, I'm Jeff Phillips. The Port Kembla copper stack is an icon in the Illawarra, a mark of our industrial beginnings. Today, after hours of waiting, the historic structure came tumbling down. Melissa Jarros has been following the story.
Residents have turned out to see what's left of this iconic 200-metre stack that was brought down by explosives this morning. The demolition has been 4 years in the making, and February 20 will now be a date etched in history as a day that changed Port Kembla forever. A bang as 100 kilograms of explosives detonated, the stack wavering for a few seconds before it gave way, breaking into three pieces, 10,500 tonnes of concrete, brick and reinforcements reduced to rubble. Falling with precision to the north of the site, sending a plume of dust billowing across the skyline, which has now changed forever.
Yeah, it was unreal.
It was quite exciting to watch.
For others, it's closed a chapter in Port Kembla's history.
I've just wiped the tears.
I thought it was sad, but a little bit angry because it's gone. And all the fellas that's been passed away that worked there, they'd be looking down on it.
Hours earlier, under the sheet of darkness, preparation work began. Locals capturing the last sunrise over the iconic structure. Others started the day off with one spectacular backdrop.
A show like this, you must sit back and enjoy it.
You know, it's been a part of my life, ever since I was born. So it's a shame to see it go down in one sense, but, you know, for me, it's sort of the end of a, polluting era.
Hundreds of emergency services have stationed at a number of checkpoints around the stack, ensuring that no one can go in and only those residents within the exclusion zone can come out.
Go knock on the door and...
SES and police door knocking on all 250 properties within the 300-metre area.
I'm afraid that, debris going to fly. As you can see, the fences aren't mesh, so it's sort of still possibility that it can fly through.
Jimmy has lived in Port Kembla for around 50 years. He stayed in his home right to the end. Most chose to leave early. The evacuation centre at Port Kembla Leagues Club almost bare.
It certainly was an inconvenience. I think it's a bit frightening because I think things can go wrong.
Whether it was Hill 60 or the local watering hole, there was plenty of vantage points.
I grew up underneath the stack, went to school underneath it, got polluted by it. It's going to be a pretty significant moment for me.
Thousands took to the main street, stack hats and all.
From Barton Ridge in the Shire, and this is something that you won't see every day.
Some were intent on ensuring it stays up.
That's an icon that is unique in the Southern Hemisphere. I think it's ridiculous that they're knocking it down.
After a 2.5-hour wait, it eventually came down with only a few slight hiccups.
We brought in some negotiators who met with them, and look, within a matter of minutes those people had decided that they would remove themselves from the evacuation zone.
EPA workers were scattered across Port Kembla testing the air and noise.
Demonstrated that there are no fibres detected at all in any of the samples that were taken, and these were collected from the southwest, the south, the southeast and the east of the site.
An SMS sent marking the return for residents around 3:30 p.m. Many seeing the effects of the dust covered across the horizon.
Come here to find a fair bit of white dust, and not too sure what's in that dust. I hope it's just concrete.
Our experts have concluded that any short-term exposure to dust is not considered to pose any form of a health risk.
The rubble will be reused on the site, but PKC couldn't confirm whether it will be independently tested. Melissa Jarros, WIN News.
Surrounding an event like this is a social media storm to match. When the stack came down, thousands captured the moment on their tablets, smartphones and other devices.
It was a drawn-out process, but it only took a moment for the stack to draw worldwide attention. Pictures and tweets zipped around the world as, with technology in hand, thousands of onlookers ensured the stack demo hashtag was trending on Twitter all morning. And you didn't have to be on the ground. Tweets were even coming out of the classrooms as physics students tried to explain how it would work. Some got creative, suggesting other ways to bring it down. A popular follow of the day was the Port Stack Twitter account. empathising with those forced to wait, stressing from the pressure, before coming to terms with its fate. And as it came down, within seconds, videos flooded Instagram as everyone clamoured to be the first to share the moment online. Within an hour, YouTube videos had hundreds of views, and it didn't take long for the Illawarra's wittier folk to get going. Miley Cyrus was a popular subject, but some prepared to show more cheek than others, this one making national television and going viral. But amongst all the videos, Facebooks and shares was a sense of loss, as the digital age yet again records another moment in time. Rob Morrison, Win News.
Today's events mark the end of an era. For half a century it stood tall, a beacon over the Illawarra, but the stack's history was often shrouded in controversy.
When the Electrolytic Refining and Smelting Company finished building their new smokestack, it certainly changed the skyline of the city of Wollongong.
After 5 years of construction, the impressive architectural structure was completed in 1965. The 14,000-tonne copper stack, standing 198 metres tall, bearing down on the industrial heart of Wollongong and the working-class residents who helped keep it running. Replacing a smaller structure built in 1910, the stack emitted gases from the smelter, which produced copper tubes and pipes. In the early days, it was a symbol of the region's industrial base, even featuring in television commercials.
Stackman is going down the biggest chimney of all.
While it was a major employer, those living under the stack battled for decades, concerned with pollution and fallout from the copper stack.
I look up and it's just covered, the roof is just covered, and I just grabbed Hannah and ran inside. It's scary.
It changed ownership, but its impact on the community remained, leading to it being shut down and reopened on a number of occasions. All the while, children continued playing within the shadows of the structure at Port Kembla Primary School, adjacent to the stack. Parents wanted answers.
What's the department going to do if the potential significant offside impact becomes a reality? And there's a great cloud of stuff coming over here.
The Education Department revealed it had commissioned tests of the playground, which concluded lead levels were higher than normal in several sections and presented a health risk.
Contaminated soil was cleaned up, yet the school gates remained open. The 25th of March 1997, the news anxious parents had been waiting for. During a state cabinet meeting in Wollongong, Premier Bob Carr announcing the school would be relocated.
It's an excellent decision. It's taken us 6 months to get them to make the right decision, but it's good that they've finally done that.
We haven't budged one bit because this is just wrong. And no matter what he does or what he says, this Premier cannot make this right.
Only spurring on grandmother Helen Hamilton to get justice. In an extraordinary move the night before the case was set to go to the Land and Environment Court, the then Premier Bob Carr introduced retrospective legislation blocking legal action against the smelter. When the Premier visited in February of 1998, placards in hand, residents let them know exactly what they thought of his decision.
Police were soon called in. After initial requests to leave the premises were refused, protesters were escorted from the site,
ignoring their pleas for the structure to be shut down. Despite winning the legal battle, it didn't stop the pollution. Fallout from the stack continued, damaging cars, pools and the lives of local residents. In 2003, Port Kembla Copper finally shut its gates. The community celebrated in 2008 after the licence for the smelter was downgraded, in effect no longer allowing it to operate.
Lots of bubbly, some champagne.
I don't know at our age about the bubbly.
2010 earmarked a new chapter in the stack saga. Port Kembla Copper gaining approval last year for it to be demolished. The date set for September 5. The same group of defiant women who fought endlessly to shut it down backed plans to keep it up, transforming it into a tourism venture, including a glass lift, viewing platform and even stack running down the side of the structure. Stack 360 Group lit up the structure in protest, showing it could be rejuvenated into an icon for the future.
It seems like people can really see some other uses for the stack.
Even mining magnate Clive Palmer showed interest at one point to keep it standing, but a viable business case couldn't be established, giving PKC no option but to bring it down. Residents' greatest fear that it may not come down safely.
In our request, we asked for an injunction
to stop it until such times as they organise a full investigation.
A postponed demolition day due to concerns about asbestos brought a sign of relief from residents. It didn't last long. In December, the Department of Planning gave the demolition the green light. For residents, close to 50 years of memories, both good or bad, today come to an end in just seconds. Melissa Jaros, WIN News.